Welcome to Actress, Actor, and Pinups. Your home for the golden age of Hollywood. Today, we're taking a closer look at one of the most iconic stars in cinema history, Marilyn Monroe. But we're not just talking about her films or her fame. We're exploring something that many people don't know about. How did Marilyn Monroe stay fit? What were her secrets? What was her daily routine? And what can we learn from her approach to health and beauty? Let's find out together. Marilyn Monroe. Just saying her name brings to mind images of timeless beauty. That famous smile. That unforgettable figure. The glamour of old Hollywood. But behind all of that was a woman who worked hard to maintain her image. She didn't have personal trainers on call. She didn't have modern gyms with fancy equipment. She didn't follow the latest fitness trends. What she had was discipline, dedication, and a routine that she followed every single day. Let's start with how Marilyn began each morning. Marilyn was an early riser. She would wake up before the sun came up. And the first thing she did was exercise. Right there in her bedroom, she kept a set of small dumbbells. Not big weights. Just 5 or 10-pound dumbbells. Simple. Effective. And every morning, still in her nightgown, Marilyn would do 10 minutes of weight training. Think about that for a moment. This was the 1950s. Women weren't encouraged to lift weights back then. In fact, many people thought it was unfeminine. That it would make women look too muscular. But Marilyn didn't care about those old-fashioned ideas. She knew that lifting weights would help her maintain her curves. It would keep her arms toned, her shoulders strong. So every morning, she did her exercises. Overhead presses, arm curls, lateral raises. Nothing complicated. Just consistent effort. Day after day. Year after year. That's the first secret of how Marilyn Monroe stayed fit. Consistency. She didn't work out for hours. She didn't push herself to exhaustion. She just showed up. Every single morning. And did the work. Now let's talk about what Marilyn ate. In the 1950s, most actresses were starving themselves. They lived on lettuce and cottage cheese. They were terrified of gaining even a single pound. But Marilyn had a different approach. For breakfast, she had something that might sound strange to us today. She would crack a raw egg into a glass of warm milk. Then she would whip it up and drink it down. A protein shake. That's what we would call it today. But back then, it was just Marilyn's way of getting the nutrition she needed to start her day. For dinner, she preferred simple, nutritious foods. Broiled liver. Or a nice steak. Along with 4 or 5 raw carrots. Liver was rich in iron. It gave her energy. The carrots provided vitamins and fiber. Again, nothing fancy. Just good, wholesome food. But here's the interesting part. Marilyn didn't deprive herself. If she wanted an ice cream sundae, she had one. She understood something that many people still struggle with today. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent most of the time. Eat well. Exercise regularly. And don't make yourself miserable in the process. That was Marilyn's philosophy. And it worked. Marilyn loved to walk. Not just casual strolls around the block. Real walks. Purposeful walks. The kind that got her heart pumping and her blood flowing. When she lived in New York City, she walked everywhere. Through Central Park. Down Fifth Avenue. All around Manhattan. In Hollywood, she would take long walks through the neighborhoods. Sometimes alone with her thoughts. Sometimes with friends. Walking was her meditation. Her time to think. To clear her mind. To stay connected to the world around her. But there was something else about the way Marilyn walked. Something deliberate. She practiced her walk. That famous Marilyn Monroe walk. That gentle sway. That confidence. It wasn't an accident. She once revealed a secret. She had cut a 1/4 inch off one heel of her shoes. Just a tiny bit. But it was enough to create a slight imbalance. That imbalance forced her to move differently. It engaged her core muscles. Her leg muscles. It created that signature walk that everyone recognized. So every time Marilyn walked down the street, she was exercising. She was strengthening her body. And she was perfecting the image that made her a star. When her work at the studio required it, Marilyn would go to the gym. But her workouts weren't like what we see today. She wasn't trying to build big muscles or run marathons. Her focus was on exercises that enhanced her natural shape. Movements that kept her feminine. That maintained her famous curves. Leg lifts. Sit-ups. Stretching routines. These were her favorite exercises. She particularly enjoyed exercises that she could do lying down. She joked about it. She said her favorite position was lying down. But there was wisdom in her choice. These exercises targeted her core, her abdominal muscles, her lower back. They kept her midsection trim without putting stress on her joints. Swimming was another activity she loved. The water provided resistance. A full body workout. But it was gentle. Easy on the knees. Easy on the back. She would swim laps whenever she could. At private pools around Hollywood. Sometimes late at night when the world was quiet and she could be alone with her thoughts. These workouts weren't intense. They weren't exhausting. But they were regular. They were part of her routine. And that made all the difference. Here's something that might surprise you. Marilyn Monroe understood the connection between mental health and physical health. Long before it became common knowledge. She used exercise to manage stress, to deal with anxiety, to cope with the pressures of being one of the biggest stars in the world. On difficult days, when the weight of fame felt too heavy, she would retreat to her weights. Or she would take a long walk. Or she would go for a swim. Physical movement was her therapy. It cleared her mind. It helped her process her emotions. It gave her a sense of control in a life that often felt chaotic. She also practiced something we might call visualization today. She would imagine herself succeeding, seeing herself healthy and strong, beautiful and confident. This mental discipline was just as important as any physical exercise. Maybe more important. Because fitness isn't just about the body. It's about the mind too. And Marilyn understood that better than most. Marilyn's commitment to fitness extended beyond just exercise and diet. She had a complete beauty routine, a skincare regimen, a way of taking care of herself that went beyond what the camera could see. She believed that outer beauty reflected inner health. So she moisturized her skin every day. She protected herself from the sun. She got plenty of sleep whenever her schedule allowed it. And here's an interesting detail. Marilyn took cold showers. Not the whole shower. But at the end of every shower, she would turn the water to cold. Just for a minute or two. She believed it tightened her skin, improved her circulation, made her more alert and energized. Today, we know she was right. Cold water therapy has real health benefits. But back in the 50s, Marilyn just knew it made her feel good. So she did it. Everything she did was part of a complete approach to health. From the food she ate to the exercise she did. From her mental practices to her beauty routine. It was all connected. It all worked together. And it all contributed to creating the image that made her immortal. So what can we learn from Marilyn Monroe's approach to fitness? First, consistency beats intensity. Marilyn didn't spend hours in the gym. She didn't follow extreme diets. But she never missed her morning routine. She exercised every single day. Second, find what works for you. Marilyn ignored the fad diets of her time. She ignored the advice that told women not to lift weights. She listened to her own body. She created a routine that worked for her lifestyle. Third, fitness is about more than just the body. Marilyn took care of her mind, her spirit, her emotional health. She understood that true wellness comes from balance. Fourth, you don't have to be perfect. Marilyn enjoyed ice cream sundaes. She didn't obsess over every calorie. She found a sustainable way of living that she could maintain for years. These lessons are just as valuable today as they were in the 1950s. Decades have passed since Marilyn Monroe left us. But her influence remains. Her approach to health and fitness has aged remarkably well. While many of her contemporaries followed extreme measures that damaged their health, Marilyn took a balanced approach. A sustainable approach. An approach that respected her body. She proved that you didn't need expensive trainers or fancy gyms. You didn't need complicated routines or extreme sacrifices. What you needed was commitment, self-awareness, and the courage to do things your own way. Marilyn lifted weights before it was fashionable for women. She ate protein before high-protein diets became popular. She understood the mind-body connection before it was mainstream wisdom. In so many ways, she was ahead of her time. So there you have it. The fitness secrets of Marilyn Monroe. Simple practices that anyone can follow. A morning routine with light weights. Nutritious meals without deprivation. Long walks. swimming, mental discipline, consistent self-care. These weren't really secrets at all. They were just good habits, practiced consistently, with dedication, with self-respect. Marilyn Monroe showed us that true fitness isn't about following every trend. It's not about perfection. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about knowing yourself, respecting your body, finding joy in taking care of yourself, and having the discipline to show up day after day, year after year. That's how Marilyn Monroe stayed fit. That's how she became a legend. And those lessons are just as powerful today as they were 70 years ago. Thank you for watching Actress, Actor, and Pinups. If you enjoyed learning about Marilyn Monroe's fitness routine, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more stories from the golden age of Hollywood. And let us know in the comments. What classic Hollywood star would you like us to feature next? Until next time, take care of yourselves, just like Marilyn did.